reporting live from Los Angeles. It's a beautiful day, sunny day, and this topic, it's a topic we don't really like to address, but it's real, it exists, right? And that is how much does a vehicle really cost you? What are the ownership costs of these various type of vehicles that we are using in the rideshare business, right? So certainly the sales price, right, is a big attractive one, right? We look at the sales price, but the one thing we cannot really ignore is the depreciation factor of that specific model car, the maintenance, the repairs, the fuel costs, etc., that all flow in and give us a figure. Now, this is an interesting article shared with me by a subscriber and friend called Bart, and we're talking about the actual ownership costs of a sedan, of SUVs, of minivans, of small SUVs, of hybrids, electric cars, and we're just going to break it down quickly and take a look at it. It's very, very interesting. So this is based on a calculation of 45 vehicles in a specific category, and they'll say that a small sedan, the annual costs, if you factor in all of those that I just mentioned, the depreciation, the maintenance, the fuel cost, that small sedan, its annual cost would be on average about $6,354, right? A small SUV, you'd say maybe like a small Pilot or so, would run at about $7,606, right? A hybrid, may be attractive on the gas, but if you take in, the battery, the electric battery, etc., you're looking at $7,687 of annual cost. A medium sedan will run you $8,171 annual costs. An electric vehicle, my friends, right? Very attractive on the gas side, but parts, etc., the depreciation of that, you're talking an annual cost of $8,439. Now, if we jump over to the rideshare hacker, how are you? He's in the house. If you're looking at the minivan, we're talking about $9,146 of annual costs, right? Let's see, the large sedan at $9,399. The medium SUV, annual costs of $9,451 average, and a pickup truck over $10,000. The average for all of those vehicles worked out to $8,469. So here's the thing. The depreciation factor, let's talk about that a little bit. It's the declining value of a vehicle over time, right? You depreciate the car over the years. It's the biggest and most often overlooked expense associated with purchasing a new car, right? We really, you got to admit it, we always attracted to the sales price, right? New vehicles lose an average of $15,000 in value during the first 5 years of ownership. And I just want to add to it that all of these calculations and numbers that I've done were based on driving 15,000 miles annually. Okay, that's not much. A lot of you drive more. Hands up in the room who drives more than 15,000 miles. I'm guilty of that, right, per year, right? So when you, let's see, so they say that new vehicles lose an average of $15,000 in value during the first 5 years of ownership. In 2017, small sedans came in at $2,114, small SUVs at $2,840. Now, if we go to another factor, big one, maintenance and repair, and on this particular one, I can say what I've learned from all the cars that I've operated, I don't go by the recommended oil change time, engine flush, the coolant liquids, the transmission flush. I do it more frequently. And the way I do it is every 5,000 miles, I do a synthetic oil change and I change the oil filter. Every 20 to 30,000 miles, I flush out all the liquids, the coolant liquids out of the engine, because a lot of little metal particles get stuck in them and ruin the engine. Flush it out, renew it with new coolant. You know, that like green colored coolant or that orange colored coolant. Have you ever seen that? That's what I'm talking about. And then the other one is the transmission. You know, they say, hey, do it X amount of miles. Well, they want to set you up for a big cost at 150,000 miles. I tell you right now, doing a transmission flush every 40 to 50,000 miles, right? So that you can keep these maintenance and repair costs down. To calculate annual maintenance and repair costs, the AAA examine factory recommended maintenance, replacement tires, extended warranty costs, and services associated with typical wear and tear. New vehicles on average will cost a driver $1,186 per year to maintain and repair. I think that sounds very, very accurate, right? For SUVs and that, it is a little higher. The inevitable costs associated with maintenance and repair should be an important consideration for car shoppers, right? As a recent AAA survey found that 1/3 of US drivers could not afford an unexpected repair bill, right? So you go out, you're attracted to the price. Wow, sounds cheap, price sounds attractive. You haven't even thought about all of the other factors, and you really are not prepared for those maintenance costs, right? And then suddenly the car sits downtime, idling time, and is not working for you. So James Campbell says, my Honda is expected to last 300,000 miles or greater. It's a 2016 Honda Civic, one of the best cars out there, no doubt. Uber is heading for bankruptcy, mate, finished within 6 months. Tom Young. Yes, they are. If they keep on pissing off drivers, I'll make sure, right? If they keep on hurting us and keep on exploiting us, I'll make sure they're in bankruptcy in 6 months. Little joke in there. Fuel costs vary significantly by vehicle type, ranging from $3.68 per mile electric vehicles to $13.88 per mile pickup trucks. New vehicle owners on average will spend just over 10 cents per mile, about $1,500 annually to fuel their vehicles, right? For gasoline powered vehicles, AAA recommends selecting a top tier gasoline. I agree with that, to keep the engines 19 times cleaner and also improve vehicle performance and fuel economy. So we sometimes try and save on 87 gas. What we should be putting in is 91, right? Especially with high powered engines. Now, something here on electric vehicles, new to the driving costs, AAA found that electric vehicles have a lower than average driving costs at $8,439 per year without a gasoline engine to maintain. Electric vehicles have the lowest annual maintenance and repair costs at $982 per year. By relying on electricity instead of gasoline, fuel costs are also significantly lower than average, especially in these times when they've just jacked up the prices 30, 40 cents, right? Ed, good afternoon. The referral lawsuit alone will bankrupt Uber. Yeah, I think so. I think they have it's my opinion that Uber, at least that I know of, would have 3 massive, massive lawsuits coming. Massive ones, where I completely know that they're fudging the numbers and are screwing mainly drivers over. I personally know or could initiate 3 major lawsuits, right? Referrals is one of them. The shenanigans that Uber and probably Lyft does with referrals is atrocious, right? And I'm sure more skeletons will keep on walking out the closet. So yeah, to answer that, I think there are several major lawsuits still coming. They have to get through those, right? Myron DY65, my 2006 Toyota Sienna, got 276,000 miles maintenance within a year, 6,000 in repairs. That's good mileage. Hopefully you took very good care of it, right? So again, let's just run through those annual costs. And again, when we're looking at a vehicle, we're obviously attracted to the sales price of the vehicle, but we got to factor in the depreciation, the maintenance, the repairs, etc. They say that annual costs for a small sedan, based on 15,000 miles, only 15,000 miles per year, your annual costs would run at $6,354. Small SUV, $7,600. Hybrid, $7,687. Medium sedan, $8,100. Electric vehicle, $8,439. Minivan, $9,146. Large sedan, $9,399. Medium SUV, $9,451. And pickup truck, $10,054. So don't underestimate the depreciation of your car. Uber girl Paula, I had a phone call with her this morning. Thank you for updating me. We missed you yesterday. Midlife Joe, I just committed on Drive Girl Drive's video about maintenance. I put $10 a working day away for maintenance other than oil changes. This works great for me. I like that. I like that. So this individual set $10 aside, piles up every day. 30 days later, month one, put $300. I guess times 12, you're putting $3,600 away, right? If you're putting that into an account, it's also gaining interest for you, like in an interest account. So if you're setting away $3,600 per year like this individual did, I think that's a smart, genius move, right? Who else is in the house? Porque because. Hello, everyone. Hi back. I wish they brought back the leasing options. Why do you think they got rid of them? Because it didn't really make money for them, right? So it's going to be a fairly short and sweet video. Keto lady, Baltimore, about 5,000 miles a month. I drive a 2012 Dodge Caravan. Good car, flex fuel. I now have over 300,000 miles, but I purchased it used for $3,995 and got back in 4 weeks. I think that's the best way to go. Yeah, it is. And that formula, that very same formula, she's talking like, okay, I got the car for $4,000, right? She put on $4,000. Think of that. She put on total of 300,000 miles. This girl got her money back. So that's what I talk about in many videos, the purchasing of cars, not just walking in and paying top dollars, right? But really like reaching out to a dealer auctioneer who buys at wholesale prices, like at Manheim, M-A-N-H-E-I-M. You can Google it. Auctions, you can see the cars of average wholesale prices, and then compare those prices to prices out there, private sellers on Craigslist, dealerships like Keys of Van Nuys in LA, and compare the prices, and you will see that buying at the right price, like she did, $4,000, $3,995 for a Dodge Caravan, on which she put 300,000 miles on. That's it. Smartest move, right? Genius move. I applaud you for that. Tommy, do you think the Lyft Express Drive will ever go out of business? No, it's being subsidized. So they'll cut monies back on other places to, I think, subsidize it. If the passenger likes something and uses it frequently and often, Uber and Lyft will stick with that, right? They will stick with what works, even if they have to subsidize here, pay in a little, and take away here. So that's what we're feeling. The drivers are feeling a lot of takeaway pains, right? Where they're paying, cozying up to the passenger and cutting back here and there and there and there on drivers. I'm going to make another video today with this. I spoke yesterday or the day before about the Uber vouchers. heavily discounting the trips to the passenger, right? Again, cozying up to the passenger, and they're going to have to make up those deficits with the driver again. It's just really short-term thinking to, to make those investors happy, to make the IPO people happy, right? Lyft is doing the same with this ride pass. If you see how much it's discounted, it doesn't even make sense. They are paying in to keep that passenger happy. But then on the other hand, this deficit, where do they make it up? They make it up with us, right? And that's where that general unhappiness starts occurring, right? So Chris Pion, Professor, how are you? Paul Frere Jr., fantastic. I like that. Paul Lefred, stay 5 years and sell a car. That's what I do. I burn my cars out 4 or 5 years, put on high mileage, and still sell them. Here's the interesting thing. I still often sell my SUV Suburbans, especially, for almost the same price that I bought them 4 years before at a dealership auction, because the public expects to pay a certain price for a vehicle that has certain high miles, right? And I still almost get my money back. So I truly got this down to a winning formula, where how do I make up all these deficits that some people talk about, is buying at the ultra low price, cash down at the dealer auctions. And it's just a law of statistics. You go to Mannheim, do yourself a favor. Let me just write it down for you guys here. Dun, dun, dun. Mannheim. So I just Google that, Mannheim auctions or car auctions, and go into your zip code. Usually in larger cities, they have multiple auction locations. But the one thing they're good at, because of the volume of cars they sell, right? They have really good data based on 2015 cars, data based on 2016 cars, data based on 2018 cars, data based on 2012 cars, right? Data based on 80,000 miles, data based on 100,000 miles. So you can just plug in, and you get these averages of what these cars are going at these auctions. And then if you want to take a step further, there are 2 or 3 people that have made genius YouTube videos about Mannheim purchasing, how you buy a car, right? Right down to the finest detail. You can go in. Some of these guys have tons of little photos, right? Even exterior shots of little scratches or a little blemish in the seat. It's like you're there. It's like you don't have to be at the auction. You can buy through this trading floor. That's what my friend Michael does for a lot of the buyers, the friends that I introduce him to in LA. What he does for me here in LA when he buys cars, he's on the trading. He's sitting in his office and following all these screens, right? Because he knows, okay, at 10 a.m., this car is up. Let's see. Supposed to sell for that price based on my research. Okay, if it goes far lower and I can lock it in and get it that price, at a dealership auction for 500 or 1,000 or 1,500 less than it usually goes for, right? I'm buying this car. If it hits a threshold and average and goes over, the people back off, right? And sometimes the car goes back into the next auction. So you can make a fortune there. I mean, I have literally, I kid you not, probably bought and sold 70 to 80 cars at dealership auctions, right? And I think I effed up about 3 or 4 times. And out of those 4 times, 2 times I had a loss on a car because just didn't do the research properly. And 2 times I broke even, but the rest I made money. Not always big money, but I made money. So you going and scouting out private sellers on Craigslist, you got to know your stuff when you meet with them at the house, take a test drive, take a mechanic along. If you buying a brand new vehicle or a used vehicle at a dealership, read the reviews of that dealership. Are they slim shadies, right? But at the end of the day, once, like they say here in this article, when they talk about depreciation, maintenance, and repairs, the sales price is often very, very attractive. But what are all the other costs associated with this car. I show you in this video what the average annual costs are of vehicles based on 15,000 miles. Coachella, yes, this weekend and next weekend, right? Next Sunday, I'm definitely there. This Saturday, I'm driving some private clients up. I'm going to go party a little bit. So I think I'm going to be working 2 Sundays. Hit me up if you're at Coachella. Brian Scheller, hey, love your channel. Hey, I love you for being part of my channel. I appreciate you, Brian. Goose87, it says you need to log in, which requires a license. No, you can conduct specific searches on Mannheim without as a non-dealer auctioneer, right? But find yourself or go down to Tahunga and Ventura Boulevard. Right on that intersection, there's a company called, if you're in LA, Brimmer Sports. Speak to Michael. Let him go down to this guy. You tell him, call him first, right? Don't just show up in his office, please. Just tell him that rideshare Professor Torsten said you could show me some prices of dealership auctions. This guy's a hot buyer. He buys Texas, he buys Florida, he buys California, he ships the cars in and he sells them. He charges a small, I think, like $500 finder fee. But if you're saving $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a particular car during the purchase, and you only are paying a finder fee, $500, money all day long in your back pocket, right? Uber Select has been very slow. Yeah, it has been, right? And I also suspect that a lot of Uber Select drivers have abandoned that platform and gone elsewhere. I see a massive migration from Uber over to Lyft. Now, I still maintain you should be on both, right? Because if you're looking at an 8-hour shift, right? If I'm just stuck on one platform and relying on one platform, I'm going to get X amount of trips in 8-hour shift, right? Whereas if I'm on 2 platforms, I statistically will get 3, 4, 5 trips more in that 8-hour shift and make more money. Yes, I'll be driving more, but I'll be making more money. So, and if something goes like, yesterday was a glitch in the Lyft system, nothing was working, you immediately want to be able to hop over on the other platform. So I highly encourage you, if you're not driving on both, even if you say to yourself, well, Uber is better in my city and they're more busier, that may be the truth, right? But you may just get that frequent Lyft trip every now and again that'll help you out, that'll make you extra money, or vice versa, right? So if you haven't joined both platforms, join under my link right now. Underneath this video, I have 2 links. Lock in your highest bonus and guarantee. And then also call me, because part of joining up under me also means the help, training, and support, right? So yeah, definitely stay on both platforms. I agree with that. And add the third. If you're in California, it would be called a TCP, Transit Charter Permit, so you can start doing private trips. And in other states, they have other abbreviations for it. But it's basically like a limo license, which allows you to transport children and to transport big groups. If you have a big Sprinter van, if you have a Mercedes 550, if you want to do more luxury type of trips, private trips, it's great. I'll give you an idea, guys. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time with my kids. I did 2 LAX private trips. I didn't even jump on the Uber and Lyft platform. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. I got 240 plus with tips, right, on the 2 trips. $240 on the 2 trips, including the tips, right? And I probably spent about $30 of gasoline, right? So I would say I was about 210, 220 up. Obviously less factors like this, depreciation, maintenance, etc. Right? But I already took the $30 gas out, and that was quick money, right? I usually do way more than that, more trips, but yesterday was like just minimal driving day, more children day, a lot of basketball, volleyball games, etc. And I didn't break my back. I did 2 trips, made myself a sweet $220 with my tips included. Uber girl Paula, you better get that TCP. Reach out to Alex at Business Rocket. Here we go. Alex at Here we go. Reach out to him. He's a legend. He gets the best prices. He does it in the fastest time, and he's fair. I've done business with him since 2006. Okay. So, and you tell him, Torsten Rideshare Professor sent you. Okay. He will give you good treatment. I'll guarantee you that. Nathaniel Davies, that's one trip I don't need. Is that like I'll avoid that trip at all costs if I can help it? Which one is that? I'd like to hear that, right? Somebody's just talking about messing with Lyft Prime time in LA. Okay. Get ready for the personal power zone. They are horrible. Backseat driver. Yeah, personal zones, I think this is all being tested right now. I don't have enough on it yet. What is the TCP in Chicago called? Anybody know? I can look it up. It's just your chartered permit limo license in Chicago. Get it. If you have a minivan, if you have a nice sedan or a luxury car or an SUV, there is absolutely no excuse for not spending that extra $800 to $1,000, and you got to weigh your car. You got to fill out certain documentation at the DMV, and you have to form a company in the LLC, right? Because the LLC owns the TCP, right? So there's a lot of paperwork, multiple steps. On average, if you can get it done quickly, about 60 days. And the people that I operate with, I have my fleet, I operate with another 2 fleet owners. Many of my colleagues, when they were done with their limo company, they sold the TCP license with the LLC for a lot of money. In some cases, $25,000, right? Just for the paper, just for the company, right? No blemishes on the record. You got a TCP ready to go, well established. If people need to look, it's been there for 4 or 5 years without blemishes. Means a lot to certain clients if they look at it. Bam, they spent, how much did they spend? They spent about $1,000 to $1,500 setting up the whole TCP, the company, the LLC costs, and then several years later, they just sold the paperwork, the company, the identity for more than $25,000. Not their cars, they sold those off as well, right? But it's a commodity that you can sell. It's a business that you can sell. You've built it up, you sell it. Uber girl Paula, I sued Lexus. They are terrible cars. Well, share with us about this lawsuit. Do you know something about Toyota Crown? Have you seen anyone using them? Matt McGiskey, the answer is no. I can't give you any hardcore data on that vehicle. But why don't you hit up Michael at Bimmer Sports, Tahunga and Ventura, and ask him. Let him look up that particular vehicle. Let him look at what it trades for, at 50,000 miles, 100,000 miles. Just see if it's worth it even buying the Toyota Crown. Yeah, it's sad to get a lemon. Sadly, I think everyone's walked into a couple of lemons, right? I like lemons, though. I squeeze them into water. There we go. TLC. Is it for Chicago? What does the abbreviation TLC stand for if you say it's in Chicago? Coachella, going to be a lot of fun, folks. Lots of fun. Lots and lots and lots of fun. Especially the after parties. What happens after 12 at Coachella is what makes it exciting. You know, a lot of those big magazine companies like Vanity Fair and all of those, they all GQ, they all throw private parties. Those are the fun parties. I like rolling into those parties for a few hours and then 4 o'clock in the morning, dancing, having fun, not drinking because you can't drink, right? Because you got to drive, and then freshen up, 2 Red Bulls, 5, 6 a.m., you're back in the car, you're driving. John Zab Khan says Toyota Crown takes too much gas. When you say it takes too much gas, give us an MPG here. We're interested. Passat is wildly gas efficient. I like that. Is wildly gas efficient. It's not just gas efficient, it's wildly gas efficient. Right, so I've run you through these numbers here. I will also put this text beneath the video, beneath the live video. Thank you. Thank you, Medat Shanuda. That's very nice of you to look that up. Taxi and Limousine Commission, TLC. Here we have TCP, Transit Chartered Permit. And then I think in New Jersey, I think it's called TNC. So it has very similar 3-letter abbreviations. Share with us. Dustin, how are you, my friend? Look who's back here, Dustin. I like that video that you did yesterday, Dustin, short and sweet, about the airport cancellations. I'd filmed that video. I haven't put it live yet, but do yourself a favor, go and watch Dustin's video on the airport cancellations, top quality video. You'll learn a lot from it, right? He nails it right there. And, you know, when I made it, I don't think that my video was as thorough as his. He put more thought, and then he brings out the famous Smakovich, which is going to be on Amazon soon, right, Dustin? And we're going to buy Dustin Smakovich. But I like his video on those airport cancellations, right? Because it sort of warns drivers not to F around with that. If you want to keep your driving privileges, don't cheat the system, right? I say we stay honest, we stay real, we stay to the game. The crap that they want to do, the corporates, the shenanigans, the little hidden shenanigans, all these little tricks that they pull on us, let them do that, because you know what? There is such a thing. I believe in it. Karma is a big bitch in life. It comes and smacks you across the face at a future date. We don't have to engage in those tactics. We don't have to do little cancellations, call up the guy at the airport. Hey, where are you going? Oh, crap, this guy's only just going 2 miles. Cancel. You know what? Take the trip. Put it in your statistics as a bad drive, right? But don't jeopardize your rideshare license, your rideshare privileges, right? Stay on that platform. Keep logs of those trips. So in case you need proof later on, I'm telling you, if you were wronged, if you know you didn't do anything wrong on that trip, and there's false allegation after false allegation. For example, Dustin's in the house, he can relate to that false allegation that came from a Lyft driver towards him, which led to deactivation, right? You keep a log, and he takes that matter into small claims court, which they're not going to show up in small claims court. It's just a small filing fee of $40, but it forces it to arbitration or mediation. And you come in there with the evidence and you say, you know what? Your passenger is wrong, right? They misled you, and now I'm being fired. What do I want? I want the loss of earnings back. I want to be reinstated. I want my time paid for here, because I'm here at the mediation. That's time I could be driving. I want my court filing fees back. And if you are in pro per representing yourself, you cannot allocate a legal fee to that. But if you have a lawyer attending and he charges you whatever, $600 just to show up for that hearing, you also claim that $600 back, right? I'm telling you right now, they have no leg to stand on, especially when these passengers make wild allegations. He was intoxicated. He was on drugs. BS. They have zero proof. They have no blood test. There's no police report. You will get reinstated. You will get your loss of earnings back. Mark my words, all day long, right? The problem is that the drivers are not willing to take that extra step to go down to the courthouse or go online, look up small claims, print out the small claims forms, fill them out, file, pay the filing fees, and wait for a future date. That future date of 2 weeks ahead that they always said at 2 weeks ahead, it'll never appear, because the moment the papers are served, you have to have a third party serving the papers at the headquarters. They could even walk up to the front desk and say, not you can do it, but a third party, you are served, right? At that moment, the papers get escalated to the legal department and goes to arbitration and mediation. You will never appear before a judge, but your documentation, your log files, your story, your evidence will hold up all day long. You'll win each and every single time, right? Just telling you, right? Small claims courts are the easiest things to get victories. Very, very easy. Because if you stand up in your element and speak the truth, right, the judge knows that. The judge is like the best psychologist you've ever met. He has heard every case under the sun. He knows when a person's bullshitting, and he knows when a person's being authentic and real, right, and providing real evidence. I'll just tell you that for folks, any lesson, whether it's roommate rental, a contract, buying a car, a dispute over deactivation, small claims court, right? Go and stand up for your rights. I've done it many times. I've done it for friends. I've never really lost in small claims court, right? And usually there's a $10,000 limit, right? So these little deactivation cases, they're not going to go over $25,000. If it's over $25,000, it becomes a civil case in the superior court. It's not going to go that route. It'll always remain a small claims filing. That's only $40, and you have the right to go in pro per, Latin for in pro persona. I show up myself. I represent my legal rights. Not difficult. Give me free pet. Denamit Webucha. Why do you want a free pet, dude? Weird. Some people share weird stuff. Bart Lawn, Coachella's on. Who's going? Janet, Sweet, T Uber, Lyft. Hello, everyone. Hi to you. T. James, the only thing I notice about Uber is that they take 40 to 50% of each fare. True. We worked it out the other day. And we put a calculator into the Excel file, calculated all the trips, came out to 39 point something percent, basically 40%. So he's right. Spot on. Dustin, you see the app I was trying to get you to use. I don't know. Is that for me, or is that for someone else? If you don't mind sending the link to that, I'd love to look at that. Did I miss something there? Sorry, I may have missed it while I was yapping and chatting away, Dustin. And we invite Dustin down to California. I think we'll get a lot of YouTubers together for you, Dustin, that'll come up from San Diego, Orange County, LA, San Francisco. We could do a nice party. and have Dustin in the house, because he has very quickly established himself as one of, in my eyes, one of the top 3 influencers in the rideshare business that commands and keeps an audience entertained, provides fantastic knowledge, and most of all, stands up for his drivers, right? For me, if you want to be a true influencer in this business, it's pretty obvious watching videos what you stand for. Do you stand for the drivers, or is there some sort of ambiguity and one doesn't quite know whether you are cozying up or you're in bed, sleeping in the same king-size bed as Uber and Lyft, right? You got to take a position here. In life, you always have to take a position, right? I know for a fact, and this is why I respect and love the guy, that Dustin has the driver's backs. He's not scared like me to speak the truth, right? With some people, I think they're afraid, right? Some people, I just think they're afraid when they're making videos like, oh, don't want to hurt the big boys. No, you got to take a position. So that's where I respect an influencer, when he can actually take a position and I can see he or she genuinely cares for the driver. Yeah, that would be cool if I can get the wife's approval. Well, we'll have to talk to the wife and tell her that Dustin's in good hands, and that I'm sure Dustin has a child or two, that if she could be so nice and maybe take care of the kids for one weekend, we want him to fly down and come mix it up with us, influencers in LA. We'll get a nice venue and we'll do a nice broadcast, and, you know, we'll address her in the broadcast. So Dustin's wife, with your permission, hey, let Dustin fly down sometime to Cali in the summer so that he can come spend, I'd say, 2 days, Dustin, that's all. Fly in the morning, Saturday morning, fly back, red eye Sunday night. We take you back to LAX. We pick you up, we take you back, we make a little party, we do some live streaming. Who's for that? Thumbs up. Who's for that? Dustin coming down to LA in summer. Thumbs up, guys. I love 4. You have 4? Damn, dude, you're 2 ahead of me. Well, you're busy bee. Yes, you see, there you go. There's the love and support. I knew it. These people are wonderful. Say no more, Dustin. If you look at all those thumbs up, start looking at flights, don't book a 737, whatever you do. Never fly on a 737 MAX. Hey, GoFundMe for Dustin. Listen, Dustin's rolling in the dough. He's got the money for a flight, but if Dustin wants us to set up a GoFundMe page to pay for his ticket, sure, we can do that. 737, you guys don't know about the Boeing 737 and all the troubles and the grounding the planes? People are changing flights, man. They don't want to be on that plane. Dustin, if they tell you you're on a 737, cancel it, get on another one. It's a pity you didn't come down for Coachella. It's going to be good. I'm going to take some musicians up there, and there's going to be a lot of crazy after parties. You're going to see rock stars and musicians parties. Holy freaking mackerel. They get wild. Really wild. No need for GoFundMe. Yeah. Lady Pro, the lady that was diagnosed for cancer, all the wonderful influencers have put a link in there to the GoFundMe page, her GoFundMe page. If somebody can just put the link in there again, please, while I'm talking here, put in the link to her GoFundMe page so that we can broadcast it and support her and pay for medical bills, medical costs, whatever it is, and help her, right? That's one thing the rideshare community does. They rally around and they help each other. And my hat off also to Geo in Chicago, extending an olive leaf to you for actually making a whole video on that. I think that was really, really cool. Showed that he really cared. He mentioned the GoFundMe page. So did Dustin, so did others. I just put the links in here and there. But, you know, put it in there. Put it in there, help her out. Jerry Hoffman, San Diego in the house. Cool. Backseat driver, how are you? Backseat driver, front seat driver. Louis Chiarotti. There's a $40 bonus from Uber for each ride back. For each ride back to LA on Coachella. What you want to do with Coachella. Let me show you how to make $1,000 in 2 trips on Coachella. Create a couple of Craigslist ads. Obviously, you have to have your TCP license. I will drive 6 people to Coachella and back $450 or $500 each way, right? Works out to less than $80 per person. If you'd had to pay that same trip with Uber or Lyft, I would say probably about $800-900 in an SUV, right? So next year, Coachella, you have your TCP, you advertise Craigslist Ventura, Craigslist San Diego, Craigslist Orange County, Craigslist LA, Craigslist Santa Barbara, offering TCP licensed driver, offering 6 passengers a drive to Coachella for $450. I do that every year. Fill the trip there, fill the trip back. While I'm driving, I'm offering the people the opportunity that I'll drive them back, and I usually hustle 2 trips back, right? So I can count on $1,500. It's happened every year. It hasn't failed me. My favorite Coachella story. Here it comes, and I'm going to leave you with this. Firstly, was really sad, the last one, because the musician Prince died the day before Coachella, and everything was, I think it was Guns N' Roses. Everyone had this purple theme going. It was really sad. Everybody rallied around Prince, so there was like a buzz in the air, right? And hands up who loves Prince. But my favorite Coachella story, oh my God. I drive a group in the SUV. I pick them up in La Quinta, and I'm taking them down to Coachella. I think it's about 10 in the morning. And so I find out in the car that there's the guy is going to announce his engagement to a lady, right? The next day, I think at like 2:00, he said he's booked these planes to fly in the air. I think he paid like $12,000 or $13,000, and he said it was going to say, "Will you marry me, Mary?" for example. And she had no clue about this, right? She was with her group of girls. They were all like, he was with his guys. They were telling me, and I said, dude, that is so freaking awesome. I will stop the car and I will look up at the sky at 2:00 tomorrow. And I believe you. I'll read those words, right? And I'll take pictures of it, right? I have those pictures somewhere. So congratulate him. Off he goes with his guys. The next day, I'm driving, and I get a group, I don't think Palm Springs or somewhere, and I'm driving to Coachella. And I said to the guys, if my predictions are right, my client from yesterday is doing this massive banner in the sky, like at 2 p.m. in about 10 minutes. Why don't we just stop? I'm not going to charge you for the fare. That last section, I'm not going to charge you. Why don't we just all watch this together? It's going to be spectacular. I believe this guy because everything lined up. They said, damn, that is so cool. Can you imagine that happens 10 minutes from now, 2 o'clock? Yeah, let's do that. So I'm with a fun bunch of people, guys and girls. And so we, right there, one of those desert roads, we stop and we look up in the sky just before 2. I kid you not, here come these planes. Frickin' get goosebumps, right? Here come these planes. They start writing out, will you marry me, Mary or Jane? These guys are like, party, and they're drinking and having fun. They're like, that is so cool. Girls are tearing up. And I said, I knew it. The guy was going to do this, was going to pull this off. It was unfrickin' believable, right? So can you imagine, here I am with a group of Uber people on the second day, and I heard it from another group of guys on the first day. I'm sharing that information. We're watching it live. They're at the venue. The guys are at the venue partying, and then Mary Jane sees this up in the sky. We see it up in the sky, and so we're happy, love. Was just amazing. Okay, so did you get to be his best man? No, I didn't. But these were just Uber people, man, and I work it with these Uber people, man. I work it. I make friends with them. I meet up with them in San Francisco. I meet up with them. I network, right? I party with them. I get repeat business out of them. I love forming good relationships. And when people have insane energy, doesn't matter where they come from, Texas, Florida, New York, if I see these are just good people, I want to be friends with them. I want to visit them in Florida. I want to visit them in Texas, right? That's what I like. So this job opens up those doors, right? It does open up those doors. How will the surge work for Uber? I don't know how, Jerry Hoffman, I don't know how secure the future of surge is, because them testing it in certain markets, taking it away in other markets, who knows what they're up to, right? That's it. It's like the law of surprises with these two companies. What's on the menu next week? What are us drivers going to be eating next week? We have no idea. This menu gets reprinted every week, right? Different desserts, different main courses, different entrees. We have no freaking clue, right? What these guys are doing on a daily basis, how they make these decisions, right? But one thing I do know is that we are their little guinea pigs. We are their little lab mice. And I don't like that. TJ Midlife Joe, T. James, 5,000 miles should be making you $5,000 if you're driving right. Again, you got to back that up with like in what category, right? Because those numbers are very, very difficult from category to category, right? And when we're looking at buying a car, an X car, compared to the prices of XL cars, compared to prices of SUV cars, compared to prices of Lux cars, I only recommend a Lux car if you want to go that direction. If you have another high-power job like real estate broker, you're willing to go and spend that extra money on a TCP license, you know your maintenance costs are going to be high, you are in a metropolitan like Chicago, LA, San Francisco, only then would I advise you to buy a luxury car, register it with Lyft Lux, Uber Lux, and get your TCP, right? You're making the top money, right? But you got to compare the prices, because I'll tell you that if you buy correctly, the difference between a good Uber X vehicle and a good Uber X vehicle, where the rates are almost double, right, could only be the difference of $1,500 to $3,000 if you're buying right. So if I can stretch myself, if I can see myself in a minivan, not thinking what my other male buddies are going to think, oh, dude, you're driving in a minivan. phase that out. Think business here for a second, right? If I can afford that XL, go the XL route, again, in specific markets, right? But the one thing that I would stay a little bit away from is like the select category right now. The SUV category is also a little dangerous unless you go Lyft SUV, Uber SUV, and TCP, your private limo license, right? But there are certain categories where I think the risk factor has increased if you want to buy a particular vehicle. Safe, always UberX, Honda Civic, Prius, but look at what you're earning on the one hand. You're doing a lot of work. I spoke to a guy yesterday who's doing 60 hours a week, right? And guys and girls, that's putting miles on your car. That's insane depreciation. That's insane maintenance. For those little dollars right now, where we stand with Uber and Lyft, with them doing these discount vouchers, these ride pass, like truly, is that category even worth it at the moment? Dustin, everyone with a minivan, thumbs up. I have a few of those as well, so I'll put thumbs up. And I think the Japanese, Dustin, which minivan do you have? What type? If you don't mind sharing with us at what you bought it for, I'd like to hear that. Looks damn clean on the inside, because you do the videos in the Excel. I can see that it looks really, really clean. Journey with Jordan, if you can drive in Hidden Hills and Calabasas, only it makes sense. The SUV and the Lux, yes. I make a lot of money in Hidden Hills and Calabasas, right? I've worked those neighborhoods, marketing-wise and Uber and Lyft-wise, morning at night. So, yeah, that's if anybody wants to know my secret, it's called Long Meadow Drive and, no, Longview Drive and Round Meadow Drive in Hidden Hills. That's my secret. That's where you'll see my Escalade most of the times. A lot of people live there. The Amigos, met them. Drake, met them. Angelina Jolie, her kids there, met them. Jessica Simpson there, met them. And they all live there. A beautiful, beautiful part of Los Angeles, Hidden Hills. That's why it's called the Hidden Hills. And the gate at the security is like the max you've ever seen, right? You got to have your name on that list and everything to get through those gates, because the security is top notch. But the people behind those gates living in that community, 2 thumbs up, lots of money to be made there. 2015 Toyota Sienna, amazing car. Amazing car. It's probably one of the best Japanese. Can't think of a better Japanese, can't even think of a better minivan than that one. And what I like about that Sienna, if you pimp that Sienna out a little bit, make it black with black wheels, all black, that thing frickin' looks like, that's a hot car, right? Cool car. 35 to 40K. So you probably bought that brand new. Yeah. Got to give a DNA swab to get through the gates. No, not that bad. Janet says she wants to get an 8-seater, but she wants to pay it off. I don't want a car note. Again, reach out, for example, to Michael at Bimmer Sports. Let him look up some prices for you, right? And very often cash is king. If you can walk in with cash, get the best prices ever. I remember, I think the best deal I ever got on a car cash was a Bentley Continental. I think it was I'm not sure, was it a GT? I think I paid $30,000 cash. Cash, light blue, with cream interior seats. Gustavo Rosales, hola, señor. Professor, I'm honestly thinking of going up to work Coachella from down here in San Diego. So let me tell you something, Gustavo. Be prepared to put in long hours. Find a place where you can wash up just clean up quickly, right? Because it gets hot, it gets windy, it gets really muggy and dirty during these Coachella times. Take your cleaning kit with you, your fiber cloth, your duster, your spray. Your car's going to get dirty a lot of times, so you want to every now and again give it a quick clean. Another tip is don't count on any hotels. Even the Motel 6s are booked out. There's nothing there under $200-300 a night. Be prepared to sleep in your car for a few hours, freshen up, have a coffee, and keep on working. Another big tip I'm going to give you for Coachella: don't spend too much time on the parking lot, on the Lyft parking or the Uber or Lyft zone waiting for people to come out, right? You're wasting time. Get in, drop off, get out. La Quinta is a hot one. The mobile services, the signals are really, really bad with Verizon, AT&T in certain areas around Coachella. Beware of that, right? But those resorts, those communities where people have booked houses for this weekend out there in La Quinta and surroundings give you nice inbound trips, high surges, high paying trips, drop off, get out, switch off, drive out 5-10 minutes and start the same process again. That's what I did. And then the most of the money to be made at Coachella, mark my words, Friday night after 12, Saturday night after 12, right? After parties, right? There are tons of after parties. Google it, look it up, find out where these magazine companies like GQ, where they're doing their after parties, right? Because when you get there, even to bring the people back home at 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, they've been partying all night, probably a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. They just can't get Uber or Lyft drivers, so it's a lot of cash trips. If you like, that's why I like going up there with the TCP, because so many opportunities come up for cash trips, right, with a TCP license, right, and people actually outbidding each other in peak times, especially between 1 and 2 a.m. in the morning. Dave, the Uber slave in the house. Hi, I hope to see you on April the 21st, Dave. Kansas City Chiefs going to crush it this year. My homies, nice. Let's follow them. Jagra Singh, how far I can accept the ping? Give us a little bit more information. You're welcome, Gustavo. Yeah, TCP is a good thing. Set the money aside, save up for it, factor in about 2.5 months before you got it. You won't regret the money invested into that. I didn't. Dave's in. I like it. Fredlin, how can I get a better tuxedo driver and umbrella? It's not going to happen. Go tonight, you can dream about it. Do I watch basketball? Absolutely, love it. Love the NBA, love college basketball. What I like most is watching my son playing high school basketball or rec ball here in Calabasas. Got 2 little crazy basketball kids. Yeah, $1 million home in LA is a $250,000 home in Kansas City. Yeah, I've got friends in Kansas. They came to visit me not too long ago, about 3 months ago. So yeah, beautiful part of the country. Good value for money, I guess, right? Sell up here in LA, go up there, live a good life. Jagra Singh, if customer's 20 minutes away, should I pick up? Listen, if it's an extremely slow day for you and you need trips, do it, right? I see the 15 minutes sometimes to the client in the SUV or Lux category is worthwhile because I say, hey, I know I'm going to drive there. It's going to take a little while. Sometimes this happens, by the way. Up in the Malibu, like wine country between PCH, for example, and the 101, there are some little vineyards. They're right up there, or parties on a Saturday night, and then it'll take you 15 minutes in, right? Who am I picking up there? That to me is exciting, right? What are the opportunities from there onwards? Will I get repeat business out of this? Who do I meet? What type of tip am I setting up for? What type of relationship can I network? That's the way I look. So to me, I sort of phase out the 15 minutes. I forget it. I don't worry about it. I just drive. To me, it's more important is like there's an opportunity awaiting. God, I feel bad I don't pick up hop, skip, and drive riders 15 minutes away. I guess you don't have to because those are scheduled trips, aren't they? Did you guys know the riders can now select their favorite drivers? Yes, I know about that. That's an interesting one. We should do a video on that. I've been getting a lot more and larger tips since the boycott on the 25th of last month. Wow, that's really, really good news. So that just shows that, like, Dave's in LA. You've seen us do live streams together. That the riders / passengers in LA who followed this big strike, followed the media, read the articles, it was in their face for days, that the people were saying, listen, we're not being treated well. We deserve more money. And maybe, hopefully, passengers had more compassion for that and say, you know what? Let me try and make it up by giving him or her a tip. So I'm happy to hear that, Dave. It's great for you to report that. Tim the main EAK Miller, my tips have gone up also. Yeah. Guys, if I tell you the one thing I kill it at is tips, right? I love the talking. I love the energy in the car, going all out, right? Those categories, I do the waters, the mints, I go all out. I have a ton going on. I say thumbs up, everyone. I got to get going. Got to pick up a car. Wish you all a great day. And drive safe. All of you drive safe. I got to head out, got tons and tons to do. And go and pick up my kids and have a great day. Laters. Enjoy, my friends.